So we're going to do 14.4. We're going to continue with our quadratics. We're going to keep a equal to 1. That means that x squared, the coefficient of x squared, will still be 1. But we're going to look at when b is positive or negative and when c is positive or negative and how that changes. So what you need to know before we do this is that you need to remember if you are finding the factors of a positive number, then both of the factors must be positive or both of the factors must be negative, right? We know that when you multiply two numbers that have the same sign, the answer is always positive. So for example, the factors of 14 are 1 times 14, negative 1 times negative 14, 2 times 7, and negative 2 times negative 7. Okay, all four of those, the product will be positive 14, because when you multiply two positives, it equals a positive, and when you multiply two negatives, it equals a positive. Then, when you have factors of a negative number, that means that one factor has to be positive and the other one has to be negative. So for example, if you were finding the factors of negative 14, then you would have to do negative 1 times 14, 1 times negative 14, negative 2 times 7, and 2 times negative 7. Okay, we know that in order to get a negative number, then the factors you have to have one of each. Okay? All right. So I have 4 problems for us to do to look at all the different scenarios. Now this one is actually what we were doing last week. Okay, so this one shouldn't be anything new, but it'll be a good review of last week to help get us ready. So again, you need to find the factors of C. So we're going to find the factors of 12. Now, using what we just said in the last slide, the factors of a positive number means that both the factors need to be positive or both the factors need to be negative. So we're going to list the factors of 12 are 1 times 12, negative 1 times negative 12, 2 times 6, negative 2 times negative 6, and 3 times 4, or negative 3 times negative 4. Okay, then you look which factors are going to add. Actually, let me change how I have that. Which factors are going to add to give you positive 8, right? You always use a sign that's in front of the term. So when we look and we add these, we're going to get 13. When we add these, we get negative 13. When we add these, we get 8, negative 8, 7, and negative 7. So the factors of 12 that add to give us 8 are 2 and 6. So when you factor, you have x plus 2 because it's a positive 2, and you have x plus 6 because it's a positive 6. 2 and 6 multiply to give you 12, and they add to give you 8. Okay? All right, so now our C is still positive. We're still finding factors of a positive number, but now our B is negative. So the first step is going to be the same. You're finding the factors of 10. Well, it's going to be 1 times 10, or negative 1 times negative 10, 2 times 5, or negative 2 times negative 5. Okay, now we have to find which factors add to give us negative 7. 1 plus 10 is 11. Negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. 2 plus 5 is 7. Negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7. So therefore, negative 2 and negative 5 have to be the factors, because negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10, and negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7. So when we write that, we have x minus 2. Oh, sorry, we're in z, not x. Should have the right variable. So z minus 2 and z minus 5. Okay, making sure that those are negatives. That's why I put minus. All right, now we changed it, so now our c is negative 25. So we need to find factors of negative 25. That means one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So we have negative 1 times 25, 1 times negative 25, negative 5 times 5, and 5 times negative 5. Okay, we need those to add to give us positive 24. Negative 1 plus 25 is 24. 1 and negative 25 gives us negative 24. And then this will give us 0. So the factors that negative 1 times 25 is negative 25. And negative 1 plus 25 is positive 24. So now your factors here are going to be v minus 1, you need negative 1, and v plus 25, you need to have a positive 25. Negative 1, positive 25. Okay, one more. Now we have both negatives. So our c is negative, negative 15. So we're going to find factors of negative 15. So that's negative 1 times 15. 1 times negative 15, negative 3 times 5, and 3 times negative 5. Okay, we need those to add to give us negative 2. Negative 1 and 15 is going to give you 14. 1 and negative 15 gives us negative 14. Negative 3 and 5 gives us 2. 3 and negative 5 gives us negative 2. So the factors that you want are 3 and negative 5. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. 3 plus negative 5 is negative 2. So our factors here are v plus 3 and v minus 5. Okay, make sure you have your positive 3 and your negative 5. All right, any questions at all, please let me know. Good luck.